Hey you guys, it's Sonia. I want to come on real quick and do a video to kind of fill you in on some things, something that I just saw while being out running some errands with my son because he had to return some books, his first semester books back to his school, his high school, and get ready for second semester. So while we were out, my son's school is just a few blocks away from the old lactician I was going to out of the shop, who said that she had to drop me as a client because she was moving out of state. On our way home, we drove past that shop, and guess who was standing in the door with her apron and mask on and was on the phone? My old lactician, who was supposed to move, if I'm not mistaken, back in October. Yeah, she ain't went nowhere. She's still here. So, old girl just did not want me as a client for whatever reason, even though we've only met twice. I only saw her twice. Our conversations, from my point of view, were pretty decent. And the only thing I could really honestly think of that would make her not want me as a client is the fact that she asked me who established my Sisterlocks when I had Sisterlocks, and I told her the name. So either she called this person and they discussed me or whatever, and really all my old Sisterlocks lactician could tell her is that I stopped going to her. That's really all she could tell her about me. So who knows, y'all, but I just thought that was so funny that this chick is still right here in town. She ain't moved nowhere. She was supposed to move to Texas, I think, somewhere south, and she's still here. So she just didn't want to be fooled with my hair. She didn't want to deal with me, or maybe she didn't like the fact that I said that, what she saw was breakage. I didn't feel it was breakage, and that it was just my hair growing outside the grid, which brings me to another point. And I don't feel no type of way about her still being in town. I just find it funny. It's hilarious to me. It's kind of, I don't know. I liked what she did. I liked her service. She washed, she conditioned, she did your reties on wet hair, damp hair. She never did my reties tight. She was gentle. She used a crochet hook instead of your typical locking needle thingy, lock tool. So I liked what she did. It's just, I think her as a person, something was off, something wasn't right. And it's hard. Sometimes I get a feel for this after first meeting you, and sometimes it takes a couple of meetings with you for me to catch your MO, to catch your vibe. But something ain't right with her, and I'm okay that I don't see her. I'm not dealing with her. That's fine. That's not even an issue. But over the weekend, I do need to tell you guys this. I've come to the realization, because I've really, really, really been thinking about things, thinking about my hair from start to finish, from when I got established with Sisterlocks, and how my hair has been, how it's behaved, and how it is right now today. And I've come to this conclusion. I think I may have been wrong about the breakage. I think the previous lactician may have been right. I think I do have breakage. These hairs, these loose little short hairs, I think it might be breakage. And you know why? Because when I was going to the person before her, and that person was doing my reties super tight. And this is when I still had Sisterlocks. This was before I combined them, and after I combined them, I was going to this person, and I had to keep telling her, "Hey, you're doing these too tight. They're too tight." And the last time I let her do my retie, which was after I combined my locks, my Sisterlocks, and she was still using the same small Sisterlocks tool on locks that are much bigger than Sisterlocks. So there was a lot of tugging and pulling. She was struggling and like trying to force my hair through these rotations with this too small tool. And I believe that's what caused my breakage. I believe my breakage started with the first loctician who established me. Because remember, y'all, she was whipping through my reties. She would just go through. My reties wasn't tight, but she did a lot of tugging and pulling. Like yanking because she was going so fast, or so I thought. And really, her going fast was really just her pulling on my hair to make me think she was really doing my reties that fast. Because how in the world can you go through 200 and whatever, how many locks I had at the time? 276 locks. How can you go through that? A full retie, and I got a big head, in an hour or less than an hour. Reties should be 3 to 4 hours. And you should be utilizing that time to observe your customer's hair and to do repairs if there's repairs that are needed, slippage, bunching, whatever. She was going through, ripping through my hair literally and going super fast, going through my reties, and that's where the breakage started. By the time I got to the second person I was going to, she was not speedy. She actually took her time because she's very meticulous and she likes to do neat work, which I find no fault with. It's just that she did them too tight. She's the one who would go all the way to your scalp and it looks tight. I think the breakage got worse with her, and I went to her twice. So I'm taking back what I said before. When I said that this previous loctician was wrong in saying that I had breakage, she was right. She was right. And even though she booted me as a customer with this lie that she was moving out of town and she's still here, she was right about that. And even the quack I saw who wanted me to take down my locks to the root and then pay her $350 for her to redo my locks, she said I had breakage as well. She was also right. So I'm humble enough, I'm woman enough to admit when I'm wrong. And I was wrong with those two ladies because they told the truth. And as I look through my hair, and it's like I got new growth on top of the breakage. And I'm trying to figure out like, okay, how am I going to make this work? How am I going to take care of my hair and try to get a handle on the breakage? Like, how do I deal with the damage that's done and just really try to heal my roots, heal my hair, keep it growing, and try to avoid locks falling out? Because that's really next. That's my fear, and I really think that's what's going to happen next. I'm going to start losing locks, or I'm going to have thinny locks. And if that happens, I'm going to have to combine again to save the locks and to hopefully stop any further damage, any further breakage. Now, since I've started retying my own locks, I do not do them often. I go at least 2 or 3 months in between reties. So I'm not manipulating my hair too much, because that's another cause of breakage, is having reties too often. And y'all, Sisterlocks consultants and other locticians, they try to have you, or they try to tell you, to come back in 4 weeks or 5 weeks or 6 weeks for a retie. And that's just simply too soon for you. And if you know that's too soon to have another retie, tell them no. Force the issue and tell them no. I think I'm gonna hold off. I think I'm good. I'll come back in 7 or 8 weeks, because you know how your hair grows. And if you're anything like me, where your hair grows super fast in the back and just kind of slower every place else, you got to give the rest of your hair time enough to catch up, or time enough to have enough growth to warrant a retie. So I'm purposely pushing back my reties 2 to 3 months, so I'm not manipulating my hair, my roots too often, too much. That will further the breakage. So there's that. The second thing I want to talk about real quick is one of my subscribers. You told me to check out Tunisia Ali, which I have. I am subscribed to her. I haven't watched any of her videos in a while, but you told me that she has like a little petition going in regards to Sisterlocks and the bad practices and things of that sort. And I did find her video that talked about that. I clicked the link and I signed up for it. I absolutely applaud Tunisia. God, why is it so hard for me to say her name? For doing this, because I felt like I was the only one that was being really vocal about the issues with Sisterlocks. And I keep saying, I don't want to sound like I'm bitter or angry or whatever towards Sisterlocks, because I do love the look of Sisterlocks. It's a style. That's all. It's a different style of a micro lock. And I do like the look of it. However, where I disagree with Dr. Cornwell or Cornwall, whatever her name is the fact that she has a lot of rules in place that I feel just don't apply. You just can't apply that to everybody. And the Sisterlocks system was clearly created for money making. And because it's created with making money in mind, you have a lot of unethical people who feel like, oh, well, I can make this quick money, let me do that. And you run into the problem of people who know nothing about hair. They know nothing about natural hair. They know nothing about how to care for natural hair or locks, other than what Sisterlocks teaches them. You have a lot of people who do not know how to conduct business, whose sole purpose is to bamboozle you and get as much money out of you as they possibly can. They don't care about the neatness of their work. They don't care about ethics. They don't care about customer service whatsoever. That is the core problem I have with Sisterlocks as a whole, and the people that can just pay money to become a certified Sisterlocks loctician and then conduct business as they see fit. Where is the recourse? There is none. I mean, what is Sisterlocks doing for those who practice bad business? For those who are jacking up people's hair? For those who are going bald at the crown of their heads because of Sisterlocks locticians not doing right by them and not doing a good job, from too tight retightenings, too often retightenings. And then it brings in a whole other aspect that Tunisia also brought up, which is the longevity and sustainability of locks in general. Like, seriously, we have to start thinking about this. How long can you really keep locks before you start having those issues with traction alopecia, losing your hair, the weight of your locks, pulling on your scalp and causing your hair to fall out, to thin? All those things come into play. And you really have to think about those things when you have locks. Like, can you really realistically, after when you get to that 10-year milestone and further, you know, can you truly keep your locks? And I know there's a ton of women who can and who have kept their locks for many years. They're beautiful, they're long, they're down to their ankles, and they have no bald spots, no issues, whatever. And that's because they found someone who is really good at taking care of their hair, and they themselves know how to take care of their hair the proper way to avoid those pitfalls. And also overstyling. I forgot to mention that too tight hairstyles can also cause traction alopecia and hair loss. So, you know, there's so many different things, and I want to thank Tunisia for bringing light to this, and not just for Sisterlocks, but for me, like I've always been saying, locks in general. The one thing I kind of disagreed with Tunisia on was that she put the onus on us, the consumer, but I can't do that. How can you put the onus on us? I don't care how much research you do. You don't know that person's business practices. You don't know what they're going to do or how they're going to treat you until you're actually seeing that person. And then the things happen to you. She said you attract, you know, how people treat you. That's true, but not in all cases. You can still be the nicest person, but if you're trusting and you're willing to give a person a chance and give them the benefit of the doubt, and you get burned, that's not your fault. I mean, we're all supposed to give people the benefit of the doubt, and you just hope and give them the chance to do right by you. But for all those that's new to the lock world, these are things that we need to help them understand and know so they can avoid these pitfalls. And that's why I feel like we do need to shout out the good locticians, the excellent ones who gives excellent customer service, who care about their work, they care about your hair. We need to shout them out and put shine on them more than the scammers out there, because there's a lot of scammers and we could talk about them for days. But we need to shout out the really good ones too, all over, not just in the States, across the pond, Europe, everywhere. So that's my personal mission, but I will also testify willingly to the pitfalls of Sisterlocks and the problems I feel they need to address and do something about. So thank you all for watching. I'm sorry this ended up being so long. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Take care of each other. Stay safe. Bye-bye.